Coming soon to own on
YouTube and Twitch.
DVD.
How many OSHA violations has the Krusty Krab had? As you know, Mr. Krabs is a very, 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 very cheapskate. He even sold SpongeBob Soul for like 89 cents. No, it was like 10 cents. So there's definitely a shit ton of violations in this. This is a long video. Let's get straight into it.
From the most ridiculous restaurant accidents ever seen, to creating the deadliest Krabby Patty known to man and fish
How much to eat that?
Why, that's the most diabolical Krabby Patty ever spawned.
Yeah, it's safe to say that the Krusty Krab is not safe. And here's where it gets interesting. OSHA violations are split into 6 different levels, and each one gets worse, ranking them from classes 1 through 6. The least violations scoring 1 point, the not-so-awful scoring 2, and the worst of the worst will get 3. And by the end, we'll find out exactly how much money Mr. Krabs would have to cop up if OSHA ever did pay Bikini Bottom a visit. Starting with the episode Krabby Land, which officially kicks off summer in Bikini Bottom. And yeah, some people are clearly more excited than others.
Care to join me for solstice caroling?
Walking in the grass, it's so fine. Don't need shoes in the summertime.
I'm not much of a summer person, SpongeBob.
No surprise there. But what's even more shocking is that Mr. Krabs is more excited about summer than SpongeBob is. And you already know it has nothing to do with summer fever and everything to do with raking in the greens from kids on summer break. And he's
Can't blame him, bro. It's a
shameless
good
about it,
opportunity.
too.
Free to spend their money without any parental guidance whatsoever. I guess that's what I like best.
I wish that.
Wait, hold on. Did he just...
Very shameless about it, too.
Free to spend their money without any parental guidance whatsoever. I guess that's what I like best.
He slapped a $5 sign on a kiddie meal and left everything else the same price. I'm not gonna lie, there's gonna be a couple of kids, they're gonna like realize the kiddie meal not even worth it. They're gonna just get a normal meal.
I wish that were a violation, but that's just Mr. Krabs being a thief. Now, sure, slap
A thief? I don't know about thief. That's just marketing, bro. It might be, y'all might view that as evil marketing, but that's just marketing.
9 price tag on kids is absolutely predatory, but that's surprisingly not an OSHA issue. But don't worry, he's got bigger fish to fry.
So weak and malnourished, with nobody trying to sell him nothing. Breaks me heart.
A truly heartbreaking moment for him, because why would kids want to play and not eat? Anyway, this gives him the idea to open his own amusement park, Krabby Land. This way, kids get to play right next to the Krusty Krab and then swoop in with their change whenever they're hungry.
I don't know why he just didn't make ice cream. It's the summertime and they're kids. He could have just put Squidward and SpongeBob out there, made them run an ice cream stand. If you really wanted money, but
which is a great idea.
Terrible
Except for
idea.
One tiny thing.
I mean, what are we supposed to do here?
And boom, there goes our first violation for the day. And this one right here is what's called a de minimis violation. Basically the baby tier of OSHA violations. We're talking minor technical or safety slip-ups that don't seriously affect worker health or safety. And because they're so small, they don't even come with a fine. Let's zoom in for a second and move past the impact.
I mean, like, if I ever went to an amusement park and their best thing they had to offer was a fort, which was just a tent, I'm leaving. I'm asking for a refund. Hose World. What are we supposed to do here? Like, keep it a bug. What are we supposed to do? These are just hoses attached to a 2x4 pipes.
Instead, focus on the janky signs and the leaking water.
And that's
Under a de minimis
shit
violation,
fail.
These signs are technically doing their job, but they have sharp edges, burrs, and splinters, hence a funny violation. Because technically, they tell the kids what each section is called, and they're not causing any real harm. But this might.
This where your first lawsuit came in. Somebody kid fell.
That reminds me, I forgot to give you these coloring rulebook/liability waivers.
And that's another de minimis violation. Funny enough, it doesn't even care that Krabs just handed legal paperwork to kids. The issue is the liability waiver was phrased as a coloring book, and the wording should be easily readable and concise. So yeah, not a safety thing. Meanwhile, SpongeBob is trying to keep the kids at bay.
Who do you want? Krabby! When do you want him? Now! Krabby! 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 Krabby!
What's actually saving this from being a much worse serious violation is the fact that the kids weren't inside the kitchen when he introduced Krabby the Clown. But even then, having a door that leads straight into the kitchen with no staff-only sign still counts as a technical violation. At the very least, there should have been some kind of restricted access sign to show general instructions.
Somebody that's nitpicking, like, only way they'll call that is like they really hate you.
And suggestions relative to safety measures. At least the cheapskate got what he deserved.
Survival of the fittest. Oh, hey kids. Uncle Krabs has to go to the bank now.
Get him!
Honestly, getting beaten by a mob of kids and losing all the money he swindled from them is a pretty happy ending, all things considered. Especially considering he doesn't have to pay a single dime for any of these violations. And because de minimis violations are almost impossible to notice, it's no surprise the Krusty Krab has racked up tons of them while we all just
what
look
type
the
of
other
freak-
way. Like during the graveyard shift, when Mr. Krabs thought it was a genius idea to keep the Krusty Krab open for a full 24 hours. For him, that's just more money. For SpongeBob working past midnight, that's basically a heart attack waiting to happen.
Loki, the 24 hours not a bad idea. It would have been a better idea if they had more employees. The fact that it's only school run SpongeBob, now that just turns into slavery.
I'm just gonna ignore the fact that the dumpster is unusually placed in front of the Krusty.
But that dumpster is literally almost in the chum bucket. Like, that's almost in front of the chum bucket.
Krab and jump straight into the real issue at hand. In most jurisdictions, trash dumpsters are required to be at least 15 feet away from the restaurant.
That was 100% 15 feet away. You can't tell me that was not 15 feet away.
But OSHA demands further that garbage shall be removed in such a manner as to avoid creating a menace to health. So yeah, it's a minor violation, and sprinkled in with all the other weird stuff going on, we keep seeing more spooky things like this pop up.
The lights will flicker on and off, just like the story. I get it.
How's that a violation?
Definitely not what anyone wants to see at 3 o'clock in the morning, but just like that, we got another tech violation: inadequate lighting. Now, I'm not exactly
Inadequate
talking about
lighting?
flickering lights, but the fact that they're dim in areas where work is in progress should be lighted.
But you could argue the fact that since it's a restaurant, it's part of the late night aesthetic. Its lights are dim because it's part of the late night aesthetic. That's a good argument point, though.
Either naturally or with proper artificial lights. It's probably because the lights have been on all day, and honestly, even they're as exhausted as Squidward is, but this still counts as a de minimis violation because technically they're still working, so it's not considered a serious hazard or a big deal. The Krusty Krab commits so many de minimis violations even when they don't try to, like in the Krusty Krab training video when they actually show the whole training process for new employees.
Your face is clear of any blemishes or boils. Now let's see how Squidward prepares
Violation
for
for cutting his boil.
The fact that they even have a training video at all is impressive, but OSHA doesn't care. Because in all the amazing training the video offers, it left out things like training SpongeBob and Squidward on caution signs that indicate a possible hazard and how to prevent them. And that's just how this type of violation goes. They're tiny rule breaks that don't affect safety at all.
Yeah,
Like the
it's
time
just-
Plankton decided the best way to
Yeah, just like petty little tax, you know, you do against somebody you really don't like. Like, if you don't like this restaurant owner or whoever manager, like, you just little petty things to throw on there.
infiltrate the Krusty Krab was by becoming SpongeBob's spatula after, of course, getting rid of the old one first.
Pull yourself together, boy. So your spatula snapped. Go get yourself a new one.
I'll never forget you.
Quit that, boy. It's creepy.
I feel bad for hitting SpongeBob with a violation point when he's mourning and actually getting hit, but I don't make the laws, because he ends up searching for a new spatula when that's actually Mr. Krabs' job, because an employer is responsible for the safe conditions of tools.
Sabotage!
He should use it more often, because not all violations are as willy-nilly as this one. With our fine book at $0 and a total of 7 violation points, we move on to our next category that'll
Not
have
that bad,
Krabs
we're
reaching
already-
for his checkbook.
Not that bad. No, there's this couple that I'll argue, like, it really shouldn't check. It's just petty little check marks. But
At last. The other than serious violation. First of all, who is naming these violations? And secondly, this type of violation is one that has a direct relationship to job safety or health issues, but nobody actually gets hurt or dies in the process. A great example is an accidents will happen, when Squidward went missing and put the Krusty Krab into a frenzy.
SpongeBob! Where in Poseidon's pantyhose is that sorry excuse for a cashier?
Sorry excuse for a kid.
Oh, you mean Squidward.
Well, that sorry excuse for a cashier must have graduated top of his class because Mr. Krabs only ever complains about Squidward's laziness, never his ability to work the register. Anyway,
True.
Squidward was in the storage room taking one of his classic lazy breaks right before he got his tiny shred of karma.
The ruckus! Ah! Oh no! Please, no! Are you hurt?
Oh, well, thank you for asking.
I wasn't talking to you. Don't worry, Papa's here.
Your shelf.
low-key, that's a violation in itself, bro. He got all these loose, like, bread. He just got all this loose bread sitting on a cabinet or on a shelf, unwrapped, just in the open.
Collapsed on me, and I twisted my ankle.
I didn't even know you had ankles.
As if working here wasn't bad enough.
Yep, Squidward gets injured on the job, and this is a massive safety issue. In the real world, Mr. Krabs will be slapped with a $160,000 fine on the spot. Nah, I'm kidding. The actual crime here is for storing his patty buns wrongly. Because under safety laws, anything stored in tiers has to be stacked, blocked, and locked in place. Also,
See, I don't know if I want to go to a restaurant and they have any type of food just sitting out in the open, unwrapped, untouched.
so kept low enough that it doesn't slide or come crashing down. And that's just the beginning, because SpongeBob hits Mr. K with another dose of reality.
All right, here, Mr. Krabs. The Bikini Bottom OWS Worker Safety Guidelines. Let's see, it says here, blah, 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 accident, blah, 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 owner negligence, blah, 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 substantial fines.
Substantial fines?
While
Substantial
Mr. Krabs is
fine.
thinking of how to avoid the office workers safety department, he's already committed another violation by keeping the OWS poster hidden. That's another $16K fine. Those posters are legally required to be hung in a clearly visible area where employees can actually see them.
Nah, that's a super petty one. Cause like if a OSHA worker came and checked that building, you know good and well, Mr. Krabs was gonna make sure that poster was being able to see. Like that's one of them ones where like you really just being petty at that point.
If he hit it on purpose, that would be a much bigger violation, one that would cost him over $100,000. While I'm racking my detective brain to see if he did it on purpose, under the same breath, he catches another violation.
SpongeBob! Squidward needs first aid!
Oh, no, don't touch me.
Just screams back alley doctor. So that's another $16,000 fine, because in the absence of a hospital, adequate first aid supplies should be readily available.
I mean, to be fair, he rolled his ankle. What adequate first aid you're gonna apply besides wrapping it and putting ice on it? Anybody in the in the restaurant could do that. Technically, that's adequate first aid enough. It's not like he cut or anything.
And let's be real, SpongeBob is not certified, and as square as he is, he still doesn't count as a first aid box. But Krabs knows he's in deep soup, so he's gotta sit up.
I could sure use a pillow. And one more for my foot.
Well, sure thing.
Typical Squidward. Dude turns his accident into a paid vacation that comes with an angry butler. So now Mr. Krabs isn't just taking care of Squiddy, he's also filling in as the cashier. While SpongeBob, on the other hand, is actually trying to be an upstanding employee as usual.
Krabs, I have the OWS accident report form to fill out. Mr. Krabs, what is criminal negligence?
Don't worry about that. We don't need to bother those nice folks over at the OWS.
And just like that, Krabs commits another other than serious violation and earns himself one more point and a $5,000 fine. Dude's on a roll.
See, that one I can understand 100%. Him not wanting to file that report and purposely not filing, I can understand the fine for that one.
His whole panic to hide Squidward's injury is valid and all, but it's still a violation. And it's classified as failure to document a workplace injury and keep safety records. Well, he's willing to risk that fine because the whole accident doesn't even make sense to him, so he makes SpongeBob carry out an investigation.
We seem to be missing something. Well, we'll have to do it again.
Careful, SpongeBob. Any more hits to the head and Patrick might get even dumber, if that's even possible. But while SpongeBob's trying to give Patrick a migraine, Mr. Krabs is also struggling with his own six-legged migraine that wants him to massage his tentacles.
Fry grease?
Ahem, I'm
Coming!
Almost feel bad for Krabs, but sorry to say that's another Class 1 violation with a back-breaking $16K fine. I can't tell if this is Mr. Krabs being a cheapskate, or he just wanted to stick it to Squidward by using fry grease as massage oil. Either way, that's against basic workplace hygiene. And in a plot twist, SpongeBob finally calls in an OWS officer to help with the investigation because beating Patrick over the head clearly wasn't getting them anywhere. And just when Mr. K is about to pay the price, some very unexpected evidence comes to light.
The camera.
What?
Oh, that's a big fine because he didn't notify the employees their cameras in the back rooms. That one, I could see like $100,000 fine from that.
Forgot! I
Yeah.
borrowed that from the airport.
Yeah, that's another violation. Dude clearly stole that security camera, so I'm gonna flag using a stolen device in the workplace as...
Oh, really? Stolen device? I thought you can't have cameras up without notifying your employers or your employees.
Other than serious violation. It's the reward.
Hold on. That's another violation. Is it? Nah. But him laying on top of the buns is...
Which is general duties clause, so we're still slapping Mr. K with another $16,000 fine. That's a lot to pay to find out Squidward caused his own fall while sleeping on the job, but hey, at least the reward ended up being worth it.
I'm gonna make you pay. Oh, no.
The perfect revenge. Now, was it worth paying thousands of bucks for? I doubt that. And is he also going to learn his lesson? I doubt that too. Which takes us to the time SpongeBob makes a discovery under the grill.
The Krabby Patty. Ew. It's cold and hard. This could have rolled under there years ago.
Only Neptune knows how long that patty's been under there, but Mr. K doesn't even care if...
Yo, that's so cheap. He got a system to detect when a whole patty touches the... Yeah, they got it.
A wheelchair or not, so he still tries to make a few bucks by selling it. And when that obviously doesn't fly, he decides the next best move is to prove it's still fresh and totally healthy.
Look, an ambulance. Now then. SpongeBob,
Yes, Mr. Krabs.
make sure you wrap up that patty. I'm not finished with it yet.
And he's still trying to eat
Thing
it.
is being too cheap, and Mr. Krabs is the absolute GOAT when it comes to that. Which is why he earns another point in a $1,500 fine, not just for the moldy patty itself, but
He just made him unwatch the TV.
for keeping the area under the grill so filthy that his workers were exposed to it in the first place. If there were more than one patty, this would have been a much higher level violation, but since it's a single patty and it gets cleaned up immediately, we're good. For now. And hey, Mr. Krabs isn't even the only one breaking the rules because his employees rack up plenty of violations all on their own.
Oh, well.
The one time we ever see Squidward obsessed with the Krabby Patty and he's digging it out of the trash, definitely an instant $16,000 fine. Tough luck, but it is what it is. Eating food in an unhealthy area is gross, and OSHA is highly against eating in any area exposed to a toxic material.
He did eat out the
SpongeBob
trash
isn't off the
can.
hook either, because in Squilliam Returns, he tries to help Squidward impress his rival Squilliam by turning the Krusty Krab into a fancy hygienic version of itself.
Homina, 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 homina,
Hamada.
I can see you immediately.
Bracket impressive.
Hold on, how strong
But slapping
SpongeBob?
on a remodeling of a building in 5 seconds is actually alarming, cartoon logic or not. It's still not a great idea. Not anything
God
too
damn.
serious, but it could lead to total disasters.
Run for your lives, everyone! It's the appetizer!
Look at the size of that thing. And is that a human foot in there? I think that counts as a wild animal. And OSHA isn't exactly big on animals endangering employees, so that's another Class 1 violation and a $2K fine. The Krusty Krab is such a mess, so let's take a look at Mr. Krabs' employee training video, walking everyone through the do's and don'ts of working at the restaurant.
Feet are polished. Your face is clear of any blemishes or boils. And your hair is neat and tidy.
On paper, this is supposed to be a good thing, but the problem is this training video leaves out one very important detail.
Well, what is it this
personal
time?
Protective equipment, or what everyone else just calls PPE. In this line of work, the employer should ensure that the employee who is exposed to hazards or flames does not wear exposed clothing. So OSHA would probably classify this as an other than serious violation due to inadequate safety training, bringing the total violations here to 10 and the fine at $105,000.
105,000.
We're still at the tip of the iceberg. Now that we're done racking up the minor points, it's time to move on to the big boys. In the Splinter, SpongeBob starts his workday with his usual pizzazz, but that joy doesn't last very long because he ends up in a freak workplace accident.
Two Krabby Patties. Two Krabby Patties coming right up. Whoa.
I hate that we have to talk.
I mean, that's blatant. Like, that's a
I
violation.
hate this episode so much. SpongeBob's not going to let something so silly stop him from flipping some patties. But getting up there isn't the problem. Surviving the trip back down is...
Me.
Oh, can we just skip this part, dude? It's important to talk about. So yeah, aside from being just absolutely disgusting to look at, this whole situation falls under repeated violations. These are just violations that an employer has been cited for previously. We literally just flagged the Krusty Krab for failing to maintain a clean and safe work environment when Squiddy turned the trash into a buffet. So I'm hitting this at 2 points and a fine of $165,000. Outrageous? Oh yeah, absolutely. But hey, that's the price you pay for not taking a YouTube guy role-playing as an OSHA officer seriously. While SpongeBob, on the other hand, is trying to outsmart the Splinter.
A bald eagle with a mustache.
A for effort, B for boldness, and C for couldn't he have literally had anyone pull that thing out? Because instead of immediately dealing with the excruciating pain in his thumb, he wings it and goes back to work as if nothing happened.
Barehanded it.
Perfection.
As impressive as that is, he just earned himself another 2 points and another $165,000 fine for repeating the same violation I just talked about a minute ago. No PPE. Allowing an injured employee to prepare food without properly attending to the injury is a really big deal. Anyway, Squidward finds out about SpongeBob's absolutely disgusting Splinter and instead of
got all up in his eyes and
he immediately decides to take advantage of it.
What? Me? Tell Mr. Krabs? No.
Whew.
Well, maybe.
He tells SpongeBob he'd be sent home, and knowing SpongeBob is the only person who actually loves this job, Squidward cuts a deal. He'll keep the Splinter a secret, but not for free. All SpongeBob has to do is stay out of his hair. So naturally, SpongeBob decides the best move is to call in a professional to help with the injury.
Patrick.
Yo,
Yeah,
Patrick always be on some freak shit. Like, he dead just licked every single one of his toes.
At this point, he's done for. Whether it was desperation or blind optimism, SpongeBob made the worst possible choice. He trusted Patrick to handle it.
Ow!
There appears to be a little bit of swelling.
You'd think he would have learned his lesson after the Suds incident, but a little swelling my buns, because this is another repeat
They rub some
violation.
dirt in
Lack
it.
of access to proper first aid or medical services already showed up back in Accidents Will Happen. And now the best medical help SpongeBob has is Patrick Star. So that's another class 2 and $165,000 fine. Honestly, I wish I could multiply it because Patrick somehow made the situation way worse and then just sailed on as if nothing happened. But that's not even...
Hey, I'm just saying, if I made a situation that much worse, I'm dipping out too. Hey, ain't no fixing it. We out.
the worst part for SpongeBob because Squidward ends up telling Mr. Krabs anyway.
SpongeBob,
Yes.
have you always had 3 legs?
Yes.
And for once, he actually acts like the only adult and does the only sensible thing.
Problems happen.
Freeze, Krabs. That right there is another violation. Intentionally avoiding reporting an injury because he's trying to avoid paying workers' comp earns him another 2 points and a $165,000 fine. Guess he didn't learn from Squidward's work accident. No surprise there, because the Krusty Krab can't even seem to get the basics right. In Pickles, after SpongeBob messes up a single Krabby Patty order, supposedly, he completely loses confidence and just goes haywire.
Then ketchup. Lettuce. Then the pickles? No. Mustard down. Buttons up. Down. Bang! Bang! I'm losing it!
Yeah, it's a sad scene to watch, but it still counts. OSHA requires all workplaces to be kept squeaky clean, and tossing ingredients all over the kitchen is a violation they've
But he's still using the workspace. That's a petty fine. He's still using the workspace though. Even though he's making a mess, he's still actively using it. That's a petty
Already
one.
been warned
I
about
can't.
that nasty grime under the grill from earlier. Whether you're charging him for this one or the other one as a repeat offender doesn't really matter. That's why this one racks up 2 points and a $120,000 fine, and the only reason it's
I think that's a bullshit fine. He's still using in the situation. I get you got to keep it clean, but how is he supposed to keep it clean while using it?
not worse is that Mr. Krabs eventually sends him home, but it doesn't help that they're fully aware of these repeated violations.
All right, what was it? There was the lights, and the phone, and the walls will ooze green slime. Oh, wait, they always do that.
Wait, what? Come on, it's like you guys aren't even trying. For that, I'm slapping on another plus 2 points and a $165,000 fine for that filthy work environment. Next up, we've talked all about proper training, but it looks like the Krusty Krab is actively trying to mock us by hiring the most untrained employee imaginable.
He flipping it on his belly.
Patrick, you can't do that. We need to turn up the grill to exactly 298 degrees Fahrenheit.
Patrick, I know Mr. Krabs is trying to just avoid hiring someone he actually has to pay, but bringing in an untrained professional for the job is something I've already called him out for. Did I just say untrained professional? That's already a problem. But anyway,
pal,
this makes
you
this a
blowing from
repeated
Stupid Town?
violation again, and just unimaginable. Same way, Plankton probably never imagined it would probably be this easy to get into the Krusty Krab, but no robots, no monsters, no overcomplicated schemes. He just walked in. Of course, since the restaurant is basically a booby trap all on its own, he still didn't make it out unscathed.
Maybe today is the day I'm gonna steal the Krabby Patty from you.
Careful, Plankton, I just mopped there.
No formula and no spine, but at least he was able to stick it to.
But once again, you could argue this point. He was there to steal. If a robber robs a place and he falls and injures himself while trying to rob the place, he can't legally sue, right? I don't know the logistics of that, but I think he can't sue if he was trying to commit a crime. Plankton was trying to steal that formula. If anything, you could claim self-defense and stopping his actions.
Krabs, because I'm hitting him with 2 points and another $165,000 fine for not putting out a wet floor sign, as usual. Thanks to this, Mr. K is raked in a blazing $1,275,000 and 16 points. And guys, we aren't even halfway.
It's a lot, man.
Up next, we got another 2-point violation, failure to abate. This one's kind of like a repeated violation, except it's when an employee refuses to comply with an already cited standard or regulation, like in Greasy Buffoons, where Mr. Krabs does what he does when he wants to empty his grease trap.
Right behind there.
Yeah, that.
All right, let's get out of here.
Wait, hold on. How the hell is SpongeBob driving normal? Look, he reversed it. How is he driving a whole truck but he can't drive a boat?
All right, let's get out of here.
I kind of get why Plankton hates him so much. And for that, Mr. Krabs gets hit with a 2-point violation and a $5,000 fine for dumping that giant chunk of grease behind the chum bucket. The place might not be in great shape, but doing something like that is basically treating the whole area like a trash bin. But in a wild twist, the grease ends up being a blessing in disguise. Plankton whips it up, throws it on the menu, and for once, actually sells something that people want to eat.
Well, Eugene Krab.
You stole me Krabby Patty formula, and I want it back.
But I've done no such thing. I'm simply using a gift somebody left me to make my chum taste good.
I mean, technically, Mr. Krabs is the reason for success and all, but you could also argue Plankton's the reason the secret formula exists in the first place, so win's a win. And naturally, Mr. Krabs isn't about to sit on his shell and let that slide, so he fires back with his own big buns.
Mr. Krabs, I accidentally dropped some buns into our vat of extra grease. Well, they've been soaking in there for about an hour.
And just like that, it turns into an all-out grease-fueled food war between the chum bucket and the Krusty Krab, but not before Mr. Krabs gets slapped with a $10,000 fine and a 2-point red flag for using non-food grade materials. It gets so bad that they don't even bother mixing it with anything anymore. They're just literally selling pure grease to people on a plate and turning them into the walking Fed.
Yeah, that's just like people who eat like just raw butter, like eat sticks of butter.
I
Are you going to eat that?
It was supposed to be going to table 3.
What an absolute disaster. The place gets so bad that even SpongeBob calls out Mr. K, and we all know how rare that is. Of course, Krabs ignores him, which earns him another 2 points and $25,000 fine. And it's not just the employees stuck working in that death trap, the customers are exposed to the hazard too, so SpongeBob does the only responsible thing left.
Oh no! Did somebody call the health inspector?
Oh no! Did somebody call the health inspector?
It was me, sir.
And even when the actual authorities show up, Krabs and Plankton still try to cover their mess. Bonus fact for you, the health inspector was also voiced by Patrick Starr's voice actor, so I just want to throw that out there. But the inspector isn't having it, so both the Krusty Krab and the Chum Bucket get shut down until they clean everything up. And once again, SpongeBob has to sponge up to make sure his favorite place doesn't stay closed for good.
Soaked up all the offending substances from the surrounding area, and I'm gonna go dispose of them properly. The Krusty Krab is grease-free!
Yeah, now you can really see why SpongeBob wins Employee of the Month every single time,
yeah.
but even
Superman
SpongeBob can
Employee
only
of the
save Krusty
Month.
Krab from so many failure to abate violations. Mr. Krabs racks these up effortlessly, almost like he's trying to stack fines for future generations. In checkup, the entire Krusty Krab crew is due for their mandatory medical examination, and what does Mr. Krabs do?
Your turn, Mr. K!
Alright, how is that a violation?
I haven't seen Krabs this spooked since the time he thought his mom was about to ask him for money, but scared or not, skipping your routine checkup as instructed is a no-no. OSHA requires workers exposed to potentially hazardous materials to undergo medical surveillance, judging
Exposed. This is just you said a routine checkup. As the current point in time, he wasn't exposed to
like
anything.
that giant food monster and the grease zombies. There's definitely something in that kitchen. So that earns Krabs another 2 points and a $16K fine. Because not only does he know this is a violation, he actively tries to run from it every chance he gets. Although sometimes you can't really blame him, like that one time when Krabby Patties were banned for absolutely no good reason by a bunch of stuck-up sardines.
For short. And we are going to ban these so-called Krabby Patties and close your restaurant forever.
She closed us down! I'm ruined!
Yeah, I'm actually with Krabs on this one. It's one thing to get shut down because your walls are leaking green goo, or because you're literally feeding customers grease, but shutting the place down because Krabby Patties are fun? Nah. And Krabs knew that too. So what does he do?
Calm little underground stuff.
So, would you like to secret size that?
Hey, Squidward, you haven't seen any sign of the... Yeah.
But like, can we call this a violation? That technically is working off grounds.
The cops.
Dude starts selling patties like they're drugs, and even though I can't blame him, my sympathy only goes so far, because running an illegal restaurant after being shut down is still a textbook failure to abate violations, so...
Like, that's past, at that point, it's past OSHA. Like, that's court shit.
Pity aside, the secret Krusty Krab gets slapped with 2 violation points and a $16K fine. And we've seen this happen before, actually. The one time SpongeBob is forced to take a vacation, he practically has a mental breakdown trying to leave, because to be fair, the Krusty Krab is not in good hands without him.
Wow! It scratches backs, too!
Yeah, I'd be worried too. And of course, this completely ruins SpongeBob's vacation. Everyone knows that the only time he can actually relax is when he's working. Truly admirable. Can't relate, but admirable nonetheless. Although staying away from work slowly turns him from admirable to cuckoo house.
Your cooking's improved 1,000-fold! You finally got the hang of it! SpongeBob?
See guys, this is why you take breaks so you don't go nuts. Anyway, I'm gonna have to give that a $16K fine for going against a Class 2 violation. On its own, that wouldn't be a huge deal, but the issue is that Krabs has already been slapped at this a dozen times and warned earlier.
It says here, Fry Cook SpongeBob SquarePants has accumulated too much vacation time. And if you don't take some time off, I'll have to pay a fine.
So he's already been told to give SpongeBob a vacation, and still the dude's in the kitchen. Even if he did sneak in, that one's on Krabs. That prior warning bumps this way up to $88,000 and 12 points for violations. It's funny to see that even with all the madness going on, those were just 2-point violations. Let's move on to the serious violations now. And I mean,
all right, here we go.
This next one's actually called the serious violations. Our first 3-pointer almost makes the other violations look like Plankton trying to fight you with a needle. Serious violations are basically workplace hazards the employer knows could cost someone an arm or their life and still decides to roll with it anyway. Starting with the Krusty Sponge, where the Krusty Krab gets an unexpected visit from its worst enemy besides the health inspector.
Important food critic visits Krusty Krab.
That's what's causing all this? Only a complete moron would worry about what some critic has to say.
Of
They
course, Squidward doesn't care
petrified.
about some food critic because he already criticizes everything, but to SpongeBob it means he's got a pro with a trained palate waiting to taste his food and test his skills. And to Mr. Krabs, this could mean losing his money, I mean business, because of a single person's review. So of course he's
Same
got to be on his
difference.
best behavior.
Try one of our delicious Krabby Patties. It's absolutely...
See, if I'm a health inspector, you did all that. Like, now you already, now you're getting a bad review. You done spit all up in my face.
complimentary.
You know it's serious and Mr. K is offering complimentary anything, and somehow his persistence actually works. The food critic ignores Squidward's legendary bad service and decides to try out the Krusty Krab's best seller, the Krabby Patty. But after just one bite, no singing, no screaming, no riding imaginary unicorns, dude just gets up and walks out. Everyone's panicking, and for good reason too.
I'm not kidding when I say this restaurant smells like the rear end of a goat.
This critic doesn't leave anything out, and I can't even blame him because he's spot on. I mean, we wouldn't even be making this video if the Krusty Krab were at least a 3-star restaurant. But just when all the customers are about to scram, some good news finally rolls in.
I chowed down on a meal that titillated my taste buds. That sponge behind the grill is no square when it comes to cooking.
Yep, SpongeBob saves the day again, but of course this gives Mr. Krabs a very uncomfortable...
But low key, I feel like if you're already in the restaurant eating, you gotta have an opinion for yourself. Oh yeah, this famous, this critic, he said this place sucks. Well, I'm here right now. My food right in front of me. I'm gonna eat this. I'm not gonna get up and leave because I seen that.
idea, and I mean uncomfortable for all of us, because he realizes he can use SpongeBob's newfound popularity to rake in even more cash. So, what does he do? Well, he basically turns SpongeBob into the Krusty Krab mascot.
Can I have your autograph?
No.
Why?
Well, the first reason is I have no use of my arm, see?
It's times like
Damn,
these
we
that
gonna
make
slap
me
my
sure
brother?
that Squidward really gives up on life. For SpongeBob, having his face plastered on everything in the Krusty Krab is a dream come true, but for Squidward, it's more like a fever dream.
Mr. Krabs, I really think I should be getting back to the grill now.
Are you kidding, lad? Just look at all these paying customers.
And there you have it, our first serious violation. Yippee. Now
Working
SpongeBob's a
them to death.
pushover and all, but forcing and overworking an employee to the point of this level of exhaustion is a whole new tier of violation. Not just because
True.
he's got fish rights or whatever rights they have underwater, but because he's also operating the fun train. And employers must implement measures to monitor and limit worker exposures to health and physical hazards. So yeah, a $16,000 fine sounds about right. Just when we thought it couldn't get any worse, Mr. Krabs whips out a new invention.
Spongy patties.
Where'd you get them?
They were just the boxes of patties we didn't have room for in the freezer. They turned yellow. Got to keep those SpongeBob ice cubes somewhere, you know.
That's
Wait, hold on right
nasty.
there, Krabs. I kind of wish there were barnacles stuck in my ears. Actually, no, I don't. Did he just say the spongy patties were basically rotten patties? Yeah, that's definitely a Class 3 violation and another
Nah, that's
16K
actually
fine for
insane.
exposing both employees and customers to a hazard that's very likely to cause harm. And the worst part,
That's
he actually
biological
raised the
warfare,
price
man.
for them. Moving on, because this should surprise absolutely no one, the rotten patties turn everyone into sponge zombies.
Mr. Krabs, open up! We're being attacked by a bunch of zombies that look like me!
Go away, please. I'm busy.
You got customers getting straight up food poisoning, wandering around like sponge zombies again, and instead of shutting the place down or helping anyone, Mr. K does what he does best, absolutely nothing. In situations like these, anyway. No refunds, no concern, no maybe we should stop serving rotten food. At this point, the Krusty Krab isn't even a restaurant, it's a contamination zone, which
It's
breaks
ground
the
break
general
zero.
clause where the employer doesn't take action to stop the hazard. And that's why this Class 3 violation isn't just justified, it's generous. Yeah, 16K is getting off easy, but he sure doesn't.
I can explain. What the?
Tell it to the judge, Krabs.
Imagine gathering all that money just to spend it in court. But as usual, this isn't Krabs'
Insane.
first rodeo when it comes to doing something illegal, so he turns things around faster than you can say OSHA by bribing the judge.
Take him around there as many times as you like.
I just might have to take you up on that.
Are you whipping him?
That might be a happy ending for Krabs himself, but not for his wallet. And of course, Squidward goes committing the same violation we flagged him for earlier with SpongeBob. It doesn't make the hazard any better that Squidward has to push himself like that while in his mascot costume. So yes, it's another Class 3 violation.
That is crazy. They made him wear the costume.
You should have seen that coming. And let's be real, so should the customers. Because the Krusty Krab has been a death trap from day one.
Captain!
I've been training my whole life for the day I could join the Krusty crew.
And now I'm ready.
No, that's obvious violation right there. So, loose floor bros, open nails.
So, when do I start?
Okay, maybe that's a tad bit of an over-exaggeration, but it's still a Class 3 violation nonetheless, and when it comes to these violations, the Krusty Krab is on a roll, almost like they got a murder streak they just can't break. Because I'm still trying to wrap my head around the point of some of these, like the Fry Cook games.
For the Krusty Krab!
For the Krusty Krab!
Well, hold on. Could you count if this is like an event hosted? I don't even think it was hosted by the Krusty Krab. Krusty Krab was just invited to it.
Besides the fact that he landed like a banana split, one wrong jump and SpongeBob would have been French toast. For a below minimum wage worker, SpongeBob sure puts himself in way too many near-death scenarios for the Krusty Krab. And while all that's happening, the only thing the owner can think about is the next way to turn the restaurant into a moneymaker or death trap.
Yeah, having children, because technically he in baby before having children work.
Again.
Oh.
That's easily a Class 3 violation and a $16,000 fine. And yeah, I know that's Squidward in baby form, but that just proves the place isn't even safe enough for an actual baby. If this were real life, Mr. Krabs would be staring down jail time and a fine of up to $112,000, and our highest points for now are 21. And that brings us to our next level of violations.
All right.
The willful violation.
Oh yeah, you're definitely getting arrested.
Mr. Krabs plainly doesn't give a crab's butt about employee safety or health. And the perfect example, the day the Krusty Krab got a visit from the health inspector.
The health inspector! Wash your hands! Clean the floors! Change your underwear! The health inspector's here!
See, but this is what I was talking about earlier with the more petty checks. I was like, if he knew OSHA was coming, he would prep the restaurant differently.
Correction. He also cares about a visit from the health inspector, not because he cares about health, but besides money, Mr. Krabs got the spidey senses to detect anyone that has the power to shut down his money supply. So the Krusty Krab has to be near perfect, which is hilarious because that would require firing Squidward, rebuilding the kitchen, and possibly demolishing the building. Anyway, they try to woo the inspector by bringing out the big guns.
And give him what he needs. Pour on the charm. Sweet talk him.
What can I get for you, handsome?
Oh, I got a hiccup.
Yeah, they're boned. But just when the sweet name calling and yummy food are about to do the trick, they get hit with some very unexpected news.
We interrupt this can for a special news bulletin. Be on the lookout for a man who's been passing himself off as a health inspector in order to obtain free food.
Free food!
And this makes it even more crazier because Mr. Krabs' dad killed a man. Didn't try, but he almost killed a man because he thought he gave away free food.
And we all know there's almost nothing Mr. K hates more than giving out food for free and refunds. So dude is this close to blowing a gasket. The sweet name calling quickly turns into straight up insults, but even that still isn't enough to make up for the inspector ordering one of everything on the menu. So Mr. K and SpongeBob decide to serve him a meal he'll never forget. Well, technically he might, I guess, because he'd be dead.
Horseradish, the gnarliest stuff in the ocean.
Oh, hold on. I've got a jar of toenail clippings in my office.
Yeah, that's jail time.
In the toilet.
Jail time.
Well, fish it out, and I'll dry it with my gym socks.
Ugh.
Why, that's the most diabolical Krabby Patty ever spawned.
And there you have it, folks. A high-grade Class 3 violation that's going to cost Krabs an arm, leg, and 165,000 schmackaroonies. I'm not even going to ask why Krabs has a jar of toenail clippings or whether he's ever seen the inside of a gym before. But even Frankenstein's monster wouldn't survive a bite of that hazardous Krabby Patty, and thank Neptune the inspector didn't.
Oh, look at him choke! Look at him suffer!
They weren't just ignoring a guy actively choking to death, they were pointing and laughing. But
Oh,
even
yeah,
that's
that's
short-lived because of their
technically that's attempted murder
oddly
or
timed
neglect.
news channel.
We interrupt your laughter at other people's expense to bring you this news flash. The fake inspector has been captured. Here is his picture. If a health inspector comes to your restaurant and he's not this guy, he's real.
A little too late for that. And unsurprisingly, Mr. Krabs almost tries to pin the blame on SpongeBob, but even he isn't evil enough to let SpongeBob take the fall alone. So out of the 1,001 legal options they could have chosen, they decide to do this.
It's all icky and corpsey.
No, I think this is past OSHA.
Now get digging.
It's hilarious how the Krusty Krab doesn't have a first aid kit, but somehow does have a shovel. So yeah, that's another violation, because choosing not to call an ambulance and jumping straight to buy disposal tools screams willful murder about 1,000 times over.
Willful murder, that's just attempted murder. And they go, oh my bad, I got hiccups, bro.
Cops show up, all I
I'm
can
just
think
shut the fuck
about
up.
still is how surviving might have been worse for the inspector, because after everything he had to witness during that cover-up,
Put him in the trunk, boy.
Captain, get away!
yeah, that trauma is definitely gonna stick. This is probably not the best time, but I'm flagging that as another willful violation. I can't believe they were gonna whip up some patty and fries at the same hands they rubbed all over a body. A biohazard in its raw form. And even though they make it back to the Krusty Krab without SpongeBob spilling the corpse, I mean, Beans, the truth just has a way of revealing itself.
SpongeBob killed him.
What? You can't pin this whole rap on me.
He was insane, out of control. He would have killed me too if you hadn't come
It
along.
was all Mr. Krabs' idea.
Put him down now. He's a mad dog.
Worst murder duo in the whole...
I'm doing the exact same thing, man. I'm not. Oh fuck, I got hiccups. My bad. But I'm not staying solid for none of y'all, man. I'm stitching on
But of
everybody.
course, the truth can't stay buried forever.
We killed the health inspector. Buried him and then stuffed his body in the freezer.
Yeah, I'm flagging that too. I mean, even if the inspector wasn't actually dead, shoving a body into the same freezer you store ice and Krabby Patties in, that's enough for me to just hand over another $165,000 fine and call it a day. And so does everyone.
Hey, this guy's not a zombie. He's just an ordinary health inspector. Yes, again, I'd like to present you with this.
Hey, Mr. Krabs.
He too nice, bro. After all I just went through, especially getting beat up by the cops as well, automatic fail.
Look, we passed the inspection.
Hooray!
Yeah, guys, laugh off the fact that this was almost a murder case. That just tells us that most of Mr. Krabs' violations are willful because he's fully aware of his actions. Remember when he turned the Krusty Krab into a prison?
Oh, me
I do remember that.
favorite police lady. Here to give me more money.
Yep, more money for more prisoners.
More prisoners.
Imagine eating a Krabby Patty next to a serial killer. It'd be an experience to die for.
Low key, that might be a oh god, hiccups. Like that might be a crazy, like, I wouldn't say theme, but like atmosphere to eat in. It'd be one of those like atmospheres where you intentionally go to eat at, or like you go sit in the middle just like this while all these inmates are yelling at you. That's some
just
crazy
die,
shit.
Which is exactly why Mr. Krabs earns his usual Class 3 violation and a $165,000 fine for willfully putting his customers at risk just to make a couple extra bucks. Krabs isn't the only one doing wrong in that restaurant. He lets SpongeBob do some truly unsanitary things as well. I'm genuinely mortified knowing that the same spatula used to cook food for all of Bikini Bottom is being used for everything, including its actual job. And this violation is a no-brainer because kitchen tools are supposed to be food
That's so
only,
nasty.
because OSHA states that all employee food prep and service has to be done in a clean, hygienic way. And whatever SpongeBob just unlocked here is about as unhealthy as the time Mr. K tried selling soup.
A half-eaten Krabby Patty. 2 moldy pickles.
Ugh.
That's genuinely one of the grossest things the show has ever put to screen, and that's saying a lot. It's so bad even SpongeBob has to stop and call him out for it.
Mr. Krabs, did you get those ingredients from the trash?
Yep.
Of course not. I intercepted these items on their way to...
My bad, I got hiccups, bro. But he really intercepted it That's some prime cheapskate shit right there.
I only put the fine at 100K because he was graceful enough to at least catch the leftovers before they enter the trash. With that, Krabs has earned himself 21 points for his evil violations and a fine of $1,090,000. Now, I don't know exactly how much the Krusty Krab is worth, but judging by the total amount of $2,851,500,
Krabs definitely got that. He wouldn't. Fuck my hell. I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened, but it's a long video. Started to get hiccups, but I definitely think Krabs got that. He definitely got 2.8 mil. He don't want to pay it, but he definitely got that.
And 87 terrifying points racked up in violations. Yeah, OSHA's about to have a ball with the restaurant's debt. And honestly,
yeah, OSHA, they just came up damn near 3 mil. But that was how many? Oh my god. That was how many OSHA violations the Krusty Krab has. I think a lot of these, I wouldn't say unjustified, but a lot of these were like petty points and petty things that an actual OSHA worker wouldn't probably find. But let me know how y'all feel about that down below. With that being said, I'll see y'all later.
Let's go in the garden. You'll find something waiting right there where you left it, lying upside down. When you finally find it, you'll see how it's faded. The underside is lighter when you turn it around. Everything stays right where you left it. Everything stays, but it still changes ever so slightly, daily and nightly, in little ways. When everything